Auburn suffers their second SEC loss. Does it mean anything more headed into the final game of the regular season? Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Barn Hoops podcast. It's Kyle Rush, Zep Jasper, and this is rare air, Zep. We got to talk about a loss. Auburn falls to Texas A&M, pretty much dominated from start to finish, 83-72 on the road in College Station. There's a lot of things to talk about in this game. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about a little bit of a little worry I have moving forward. I'll get your opinion on it. Can a loss be a good thing? And then we'll look ahead to the Alabama game. Before we do that, we got to give a shout out to Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. Go to UncleKeith'sRedSauce.com. Use coupon code TheBarn25 to take 25% off. If you live in the state of Alabama, any Publix in the state of Alabama. If you live in the Birmingham area, any Piggly Wiggly in the Birmingham area. If you don't live anywhere near any of those, go online. UncleKeith'sRedSauce.com. Save big, buy in bulk. A great tasting salsa with a little bit of a Southern kick and Auburn family. Show them some love. Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. It's good, y'all. Zep, the Tigers finally fall. We go down, go into College Station. Buzz just has our number. Buzz just has our number. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Texas A&M. But look, Auburn didn't have a ton to play for. You had some injuries. You were banged up. Overall thoughts about the game? Anything to freak out about? Anything to worry about? Or is it just one of those games in the SEC that anybody can lose?
I mean, it's one of those weird games because of you go back and look at the history. Buzz Williams a great coach. He have great schemes. He get his players hyped. Over the past years, Buzz Williams he have done his thing. Even when I was there, in the SEC tournament, no one thought Texas A&M could beat us with Jabbar and Walker.
Yeah.
Those guys somehow they made a way. Like he gets guys to do what they supposed to do when they play Auburn. Like it's like every time they play Auburn, it's like they do the right thing. But um I think it's no panic. But I want to talk about Janai. It's been 2 games,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like teams have been throwing different schemes, or maybe it's because the big man he's been playing against, they're more agile, more tough, and they give something different defensively to Johni Broome. But other than that, I think it's nothing to worry about. Other than that,
Yeah. So look, this is my thing, Zep. This I mentioned. I teased it at the beginning. Auburn shot 50% from the field. That's all you can ask for on the road. 50% from the field. You'll take that every single time on the road. 40% from three. Zep, would you take that on the road right now? If I said you're going to shoot 40% from three, would you take that?
most
Heck
definitely,
yeah.
I'll take that.
13 of 15 from the line. Would you take that? 88% from the line.
Most definitely.
Absolutely. So you're shooting great. Not really 13 turnovers. That's a little bit more than you typically do, but that's not terrible. I mean, that's not awful as far as turnovers go. But you just get absolutely crushed on the boards. Absolutely crushed on the boards. Almost doubled up, 41-25, and then you gave up 24 offensive rebounds. Zep, that's sort of becoming a theme. If you look at the Kentucky game, Kentucky killed us on the boards. I think Alabama killed us on the boards, even in a win. You're getting beat on the boards quite frequently. That's one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about. What are your thoughts there? Is it a philosophy thing? Is it an effort thing? Is it just hey, it's a grind right now and we're just trying to get to the end of the season conditioning thing? Like, what's your overall take on this? Is it a big deal or not?
It's kind of both
Yeah.
because I think of teams can look at us and say these guys are not a great rebounding team. They just expect us to be great on offense because we have great offensive schemes. We expect to outscore a team, but also play great defense. Like you say, the past two games, our rebounding have been awful. They have been out rebounding us, and usually we're the team that out rebound the team. So I think it's like more of toughness, giving more toughness, and you gotta look at it now. Like teams are not gonna give us nothing. The refs are not gonna give us nothing. The whole world is against us now. So
Yeah.
our team have to know that, and it's March. March
Yeah.
is full of runs. It's full of passion. Everyone don't know if this is gonna be their last game now. It's like you have to give it your all. Like no matter the rankings are out the window now. Like I
Yeah.
know we're number one, but that doesn't mean you know what I'm about to say. It means
It don't
beep.
mean nothing right now.
It
Yeah.
don't mean nothing right now.
I'm with you.
So
So A&M obviously was coming off of like a 4-game losing streak. They really needed this win, and Auburn really didn't. If we're being completely honest, I mean, you already have the SEC clinched. You already have a 1 seed clinched. You probably have the number 1 overall seed clinched, but you'd love to win one more. Love to win one more Saturday to kind of solidify that. You got Denver out. Janai's a little bit banged up. I mean, it was just sort of like a perfect storm. And then Texas A&M, the brand of basketball they play is just sort of that's kind of the kryptonite. If you want to play Auburn well, you play like Texas A&M, you play like Florida, you hit your shots, you're physical. That's the kind of teams that can give Auburn trouble. There just haven't been many that play that style of basketball. Zep, I want to ask you this. So people talk about this. I want to get your thoughts on this. I'm hearing a lot of this. I'm glad we had a loss. I'm glad we got a loss in before the tournament started to kind of, bring us back to reality. Um, what's your thoughts about having a loss late in a season uh, as a good thing? Or is that sort of blown out of proportion? Or is it a good thing? Is it a good thing to kind of regalvanize, refocus everybody?
um, well, the way I look at it is we've been winning so much. You rather lose now than later.
Sure.
We like a hot Cheeto right now. Like we can't get cooled down. Like I know we just lost, but you gotta look at it. We just won the SEC title
Yeah.
as players. I know the Texas A&M they won. They just came off a 4-game losing streak, which it doesn't matter to us. We know they wanted that game super bad.
Yeah.
As Auburn players, I know they didn't care as much because they won the SEC title. But I know one thing: the game we play next, it's about respect.
Yeah.
So no matter what goes on, no matter the SEC title, this is about respect. Like we have to handle business going forward. It's strictly business now. It's no games,
Yeah.
no bringing out no belts because we just got to make sure we on our p's and q's. Everything going forward, it have to be strictly business.
Yeah. Alabama just lost a tough one at home to Florida. So, they're going to come in Saturday ready to go. And we'll talk about that game here in just a second. Tahad Pettiford got his first start, played 35 minutes. I think that's probably the most he's played all year. Scored the ball great. 6 of 10 from three. He was honestly one of our better, one of the brighter spots of the game offensively from a scoring perspective. But I want to get your thoughts on the offense in general and what you thought it looked like. I felt like the ball stuck a little bit more. I felt like the ball wasn't moving quite as much. It felt like they were really, really frustrating us. I don't know if it was just the scheme or if it was, you know, getting into Hod's head a little bit. He didn't really turn it over a ton. He only turned it over 3 times, but it just felt like the ball wasn't as crisp moving around as it's been. The movement wasn't there. Uh, were you seeing a lot of the same things I was? What did you think about Hod's first like true start as the guy at point guard?
Um, I think the ball was a little staggered. Like it was a lot of one-on-one basketball, a lot of I want to get mine's type of game.
Hmm.
Not for just to hide, but a lot of other guys also. I think the ball was sticking. It wasn't like the flow like we naturally have. I don't know if it's because of Coach Buzz. He had a great game plan. I seen Berger on the sideline making calls, but I'm like you. I think Tahad played a good game, but with having Denver right there, with having two different versions of point guards, I
Hmm.
think we kind of missed it. And Tahad on the defensive end was a little bit kind of, I watched a little bit everything. I think he could have guarded better than what he did this game.
Sure, sure. That was a pretty neat glimpse, though, to kind of get an idea of what next year might look like. Well, I know Denver's probably coming back, so you're still going to have that 1-2 punch. But it's good to see him get the minutes. But I did feel I don't know, maybe I'm maybe I'm associating something that's not really I'm correlation versus causation, I guess. But it did look like the offense was just a little bit bogged down, and that could have been just buzz. What is this thing? All right, I don't know what it's called, Zep, but what is it when a defense, when we're coming down, we're in the backcourt and we're coming down the court, and they put a guy like sort of in the middle of two guys, and then we have to go like we can't get out of it. We don't know what to do to like get around it. We have to go like, oh, we throw it over the guy's head, then throw it
Hmm.
back over the guy's head, then throw it back over, and then we can't get across half court until like under 20 seconds in the shot clock,
Hmm.
and then we got to speed up to get in our sets, and it just bogs us down, and we can't get out of it. We don't
Hmm.
have an answer for it. Like, what is it? What are teams doing when they do that? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, so Texas A&M, they always run a 1-3-1, and
Hmm.
they have a guy who's very active at the top. And they put three guys back and one guy at the back line of the 1-3-1. I think we were a little sloppy. We were a little lackadaisical with the ball. Like if you go watch the game, I feel like we could have got the ball over the half court line a little faster. Like you say, starting like 20, 21 seconds, I feel like we was rushing to have our sets. They
Big
was
time.
dictating what we could do in that game.
Totally dictate. That's a great word. They were dictating our flow on offense, and we couldn't get out of it. And,
No
and
doubt.
again, that could just be a buzz thing. And I assume we'll probably make some adjustments there moving forward. Because I mean, if I'm an opposing coach, I'm watching that. I'm thinking, okay, let's get them sped, let's get them to where they're not getting across half court until way late in the shot clock, and then it makes them speed up their, getting into their sets, and they don't do it really well, and it gets them all discombobulated. So hopefully we make some adjustments there, because that was something that was frustrating, and I see it occasionally. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it seems like we have a hard time getting out of it. But the game's behind us. The Texas A&M game is behind us. We've moved on. We got a long rest into Saturday. And then we got the Big Daddy Saturday. You got the Iron Bowl of basketball version 2.0 at Neville Arena, as Alabama comes to town. Reeling, lost 5 out of their last 7 games. They are going to come in. They've got, I mean, they were on the 1 seed line at one point in time, and now they're flirting with probably maybe possibly dropping to a 3 seed. So there's a lot to play for this game for them, and still there's not a ton to play for Auburn other than just pride. I think you want to win the game. I think winning the game solidifies you as the number 1 overall seed, even though I think you should already have it. But ending the season on a 2-game losing streak could, throw some things out of whack, because Duke's, smoking AAU teams in the ACC. So, uh, big game. Give me your pregame thoughts going into that one. Just overall, what it's like playing Alabama at home, and then how big this game is to you, and just your overall thoughts about the game coming up Saturday.
Well, the game Saturday it means a lot to me. Just playing in that rivalry for 2 years. Just playing against Alabama, knowing that I hate them, knowing that Auburn runs the state. Like no matter what goes on, I always want respect.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Alabama fans are very disrespectful. They never know what they're talking about. They just think they the best and which they're not the best. But I'm
Uh,
looking forward to it because it's senior night, Janai's last game.
yeah.
Maybe Denver last game, maybe Chad Baker Mazar last game. Which we got like 7, 8, 9 seniors. We don't
Yeah.
know what's
Senior
gonna
night.
happen. So it's gonna be a lot of emotions going into that game. With that being your last game in Neville Arena, like I just feel like it's one of those things that you gotta give it your all. Like you gotta
Yeah.
be so tired. You just gotta go out with a bang. Like and then when it comes to Alabama, you got to be super happy. Like I want to beat them so bad. Like I want to go on live. I want them to bring the belt out because they already looking at beating us. They want to beat us so bad.
Yeah.
I know they just lost this game, but one thing they want to do, they want to win against Auburn.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You know what, Zep? It warms my heart. It absolutely warms my heart to see a guy that grew up in Georgia hate Alabama so bad. There's just nothing that makes me happier in my soul than that. No, I'm with you. I think both teams are going to be fired up. I guess I didn't think about the senior night aspect. You got a lot of guys who this will be their last game. Dylan Cardwell. I mean, he's played here for about 12 years now. I mean, it's
Blood,
a
sweat, and
long time.
tears.
It's a long,
Long
long
time.
time. SEMO, a lot of time, a lot of games here. His more than likely his last one, and then does Chad get the extra year of eligibility? Does he even want to come back? Johni, he's become a legend at Auburn, legend in college basketball here. That's his last game. Does Denver get his other year? Does Chaney get another year? You could bring back a couple of these guys. You could lose them all if you can't get if the whole decision of can they come back or not is never ruled on. Uh it's going to be a lot of emotions. I agree with you, and I think I like the way Auburn defended them last game. Do you think Alabama? What adjustments could Alabama make? Auburn ran them off the 3-point line. Florida did that tonight. Florida ran them off the 3-point line. That frustrates them because Cliff triple single cannot score inside. He can't. He is no threat whatsoever. Grant Nelson is hot or cold, so he could very well have a good game, but he's not somebody I feel like you can really depend on. And he's really not good in the paint. He's more of a I got to catch it at the top of the key and drive type guy. He's not a good back to the basketball big. So does Auburn just kind of stick to the same thing, or do you see Alabama making some adjustments? What do you overall think about Auburn and defending Alabama? Because that's the big key matchup, in my opinion. Because Auburn should be able to score at will.
Well, I think Alabama, Nate Oates, he's one of those type of guys. He's an analytic type guy when it comes to basketball.
Yeah,
I think he'll change up a couple of things. Just because he's an analytics type of guy, so I think he's gonna go with something different, but he's gonna also stay with the same, like shooting threes, not taking mid-range jump shots, only drives to the basket. But it's something he's gonna pull out his bag, something
yeah,
he keeps in his bag he's gonna use. But also he got to know we're probably gonna play the same, but we're gonna have tricks in our bag too.
yeah.
So it's gonna be something we're gonna
A little bit of
do.
a chess match.
A
A
little
little
bit
bit
of
of a
chess
chess match.
match.
Analytics. One thing about analytics, though, is analytics don't work if you don't follow them. You know what I mean? So, like, I think Alabama's best bet is to continue to do the same thing. Go
Continue to
super
stay.
fast, get across the line as fast as you can, chunk threes, get offensive rebounds, and score in the paint. I think that's what they do. They don't have mid range. They don't have any mid range shots. Sears is going to drive downhill, throw his head up, get a foul call, and get to the foul line. I mean, that's his game. It's a skill that he's really good at. That's why he shoots more free throws than seemingly anyone in the country. I'm really looking forward to the game. Definitely looking forward to the game. You got any predictions?
Um, if I had to give a prediction of this game, um, Auburn by 3 or 4.
Okay. I like that. I think something like 95, 92, 90, 91, something like that. I think it'll be probably the final score. I think it'll be a high scoring. I think I'd take the over if I was a betting man. I think I'd take the over. But we'll be back. We'll discuss the game. We'll break down the game afterwards, and we'll get in here and get ready for the SEC tournament. Auburn's going to be a 1 seed in the SEC tournament. Right now, you have South Carolina, Mississippi State. They would start off on Auburn's side, and then the winner will play Kentucky. That could change based off of the results on Saturday, but that's what we're looking at right now. Right now, Alabama's probably going to drop to a 4 seed if Tennessee wins tonight. They beat Ole Miss, which means Alabama and Auburn could be on a collision course for the I guess that would be in the semifinals. They play in the semifinals before they go to the final. So they could be on a collision course for three matchups, and then who knows what happens in the NCAA tournament. So this may not be the last one, may not be the last Iron Bowl of basketball of 2025. So Zep, tell them how they can find you and support you.
You can find me on Instagram at RIP_QUAN12, Twitter at RIP_QUAN5.
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at _Charlie_5. And we'll be back again soon. It's another episode of the Barn Hoops Podcast.